Yeah, this is happening. Actually, no, it isn't. After the February deluge, things were bound to slow down, of course, but even a lot of what's coming out isn't really catching my interest this month. Oh well, we've got at least a few albums to get through on this month's Albumpressions. I feel it's pretty difficult to ignore the ways this album parallels Porter Robinson's Nurture. Not a knock against it, of course. Cutie Marks was all over the place stylistically and thematically, while Fish Whisperer is a lot more mellow, a lot more acoustics and twinkling ramshackle instrumentation, a windswept and airy atmosphere to the production, and a more introspective narrative grappling with the struggles of creating art, where inspiration isn't something that can be pulled from thin air, and the realities of life can intrude on the desire and the opportunity to create, where the ultimate resolution is to create for her own sake, not for anyone else's, an attitude I can absolutely get behind. While this album isn't hitting me quite as immediately, I gotta say that I really feel Vylet's talents as a vocalist are on display here even more than on Cutie Marks. And despite those cues taken from Nurture, she still very much has her own distinct style. The colorful synths, touches of rock guitars, and intrusion of abrasive electronics all being dead giveaways. I'm not sure it's going to strike the same emotional chord for me, but I'm still damn well enjoying it for what it is. One of those bands whose debut I liked but didn't love and promptly forgot about, only to be reminded about again when their next one dropped. And I don't know if I'd covered this in a more busy month, but for what it is, yeah, I'm digging it. Half's style of death metal certainly is death and certainly is metal, but the heaviness is mostly applied to create an expansive and crushing atmosphere. There's moments here kind of breathtaking in their massiveness. The more aggressive riffing, the dynamic drum work, and the requisite moments of calm keep those huge moments from getting stale, albeit there's not a ton of color to their sound besides that. I do feel that the sound isn't diverse or dynamic enough to remain engaging across its 50-minute runtime though. All the tracks sound a bit too similar in their heaviness. I feel like it's also gonna end up as an album I like but don't love, but it's still one of the more compelling releases I've heard in the past month, if nothing else. Progressive death metal band Blood Incantation released a 40-minute ambient album and their fans are pissed. Which, like, y'all, you don't have to listen to it or buy it if you don't want to. You realize that, right? And like, this isn't really any different from Midnight Odyssey putting out 2 full ambient albums in 2020 either. Whether or not you're a fan of the band, which I'm not really, it's pretty obvious this is a side project. And their other albums aren't going anywhere. Anyways, the album itself, this is going to sound like a bad thing, but I mean this only as high praise. This would make for great sleeping music. I'd know because I tend to use stuff like the aforementioned Midnight Odyssey albums, or the similarly spacey works from Stellar Drone as sleeping music. Absolutely cannot get enough of this kind of ambient. I like this way more than their death metal stuff, honestly. Is it super compelling to listen to outside of that context? Maybe not, but whatever. It does its job for what it's trying to be, and it's just really damn good, too. Apparently some kind of cult classic in the realm of Screamo, and I don't remember exactly where I found it, but, well, it's a weird one. The first half of the album is basically a gradual ramp up in intensity, piano and string driven build leading to some strong Screamo climaxes in the first 2 tracks, going full on Screamo and post-hardcore in the next 2 tracks, and then collapsing, with a short ambient interlude leading to 2 longer, more meditative post-metal tracks, closing out with an acoustic ballad. It's, well, it's easy to divide the album into halves, but it all does flow really well, and the diversity across the record leads to every track standing out just by what it's looking to accomplish. But it also means that if you do find a particular sound you like the most, well, you're probably not going to be seeing much more of it across the record. The music itself does strike me as, well, really damn good. Would need to sit on that a bit more to be sure, but I do worry this is an album I find interesting more than enjoyable. But it's really damn interesting, so... And that's where we'll call it for now. Yeah, again, not much going on. Next month is looking just as barren too, but we'll see how things turn out, I guess. Anyways, catch y'all later.